What? People are leaving South Dakota? And you might be thinking, hey, Tristan, you've got 150 videos on your channel about Rapid City, Black Hills, and South Dakota, and people are yet leaving? Yep. In this video, we'll talk about the 5 most popular states people from South Dakota are moving to. And then we'll finish up with talking about the 5 most popular states people are moving from to get to South Dakota. Hey everybody, it's Tristan Emond with Mindful Living Realty, a realtor right here in Rapid City, South Dakota, the gateway to the Black Hills. Now this information is from the 20 and 21 IRS tax data. Does that make it more official? So this article actually listed the top 10, but did not showcase anything under 1%. So the bottom 5 that were all just 1% each were Tennessee, Oklahoma, Utah, Kansas, and Idaho. Let's talk about the top 5 states that people are moving to. Number 5 on the list is Montana. Now really, this doesn't surprise me. It's kind of our sister state up there, bigger mountains, better scenery, especially if you get the west side of the state. East side of the state is not much, but yeah, you know, it's space, it's room, right? 7% of South Dakota outbound moves were to Montana. State number 4, Alabama. Now you're gonna see a trend from here on out, and that trend is south, where it's warm. Alabama certainly qualifies for warm, hot, and humid. Getting away from the cold South Dakota winters, I'm sure every South Dakotan has thought about it at one time or another. But Alabama came in fourth with 8% of the outbound moves going to that state. State number 3, big old state of Texas. With Texas having similar values as South Dakota, big open spaces, a lot of gun owners, etc., Texas makes sense for a lot of the moves coming out of South Dakota. It's hot, it's warm, and it's away from that damn winter. 15% of those moves went to the great big state of Texas. State number 2, let's hit up some beaches in Florida. Similar to Texas, Florida has some of the same values as South Dakota. Plus, there's a beach, no matter where you go, within a few hours drive for sure. There's some of us that like to vacation in Florida every year. I'm not sure about those people. Those guys are kind of weird. 29% of the outbound moves decided, you know what? I vacation in Florida enough. Let's make that our home. All right, can you guess the number 1 state that South Dakotans are moving to? No, it's not North Dakota. Surprise, surprise. It's Arizona. Now, Arizona makes a lot of sense. A lot of the present snowbirds, Arizona is their home to hang out during that winter time. So that nice warm climate that also is kind of dry like South Dakota is going to beat out those South Dakota harsh winters almost all the time. Arizona tops the list with 33% of the moves going to the state of Arizona. Now, what states are people moving from to move in to the state of South Dakota? This comes from the same article that has the 2021 income tax returns. And they reported about 3,000 people moving into the state of South Dakota during this time frame. Of all the states over 1% of the moves, the bottom 5 were under 5%. Those bottom 5 were North Dakota, Washington, Wyoming, Nebraska, and Nevada. So what are the top 5 inbound moves into the state of South Dakota? Number 5, Illinois. Illinois accounted for 7% of the moves, and that was about 200 families. Number 4, Colorado. Apparently a bunch of people from 2 states down decided things were a little bit better in the state of South Dakota, so they moved up. Colorado accounted for 10% of the moves, about 300 families. Number 3, Iowa. This one surprised me a little bit because I actually haven't helped anybody from Iowa move into our state, unlike the rest of the states I've mentioned so far. But 11% came from the state of Iowa, which is about 325 families. Inbound moves number 2, the state of Minnesota. Based on my experience the past couple years, I have talked with a number of Minnesotans, mostly in the Twin Cities area, and quite a few around that whole area where the riots broke out a few years ago. Things de-escalated fast and they were ready to get out of there and into a place that made a little more sense. Minnesota accounted for 18% of the moves, about 530 families. Now I'm sure this number 1 state is going to be no surprise to you. In fact, a lot of people are really upset that this happened. But the number 1 state for people moving into the state of South Dakota is California. California's accounted for 37% of all the inbound moves, about 1,100 people, and that's almost twice the Minnesota move-ins. Now, if you've read any of the comments in some of my videos, you know that that has not been a popular subject. Go away from South Dakota, don't California my South Dakota, all these different things that people have talked about. Fortunately, the ones that I've dealt with from California have been the ones that I'm really excited to be in the state of South Dakota, to become South Dakotans, and really don't even want to go back to California. And you've heard me say on this channel over and over again, don't come here to change things, because that's not what we want in South Dakota. United Van Lines, they put out a report every year that talks about the inbound and outbound moves to every state. First thing we notice here on the map is South Dakota is a high inbound state. So a lot of people have been coming into the state of South Dakota, unlike California, which is a high outbound state. But if we go up here, we can select South Dakota, and and we can see why people moved. And this really correlates with a lot of data that we as realtors have had over the years. People usually move for job and family. So a job was the biggest reason for people moving out of state, and family was the next, with retirement being number 3. And that makes a lot of sense, especially going to the warmer states. I know when I'm ready to retire in a few short years, going someplace a little bit warmer might be on the menu. And then a number of people decided, forget the South Dakota stuff, I want a different lifestyle. And this age range chart kind of collaborates that as well, with most of the people moving over the age of 45. And as we look at the incomes of people moving out of state to South Dakota, not the rich, not the poor, it's really the ones just kind of right in between. Which makes sense. Hardworking South Dakotans finding a different place to go. Now let's go back to that website and look about why people are moving into the state of South Dakota. Family and job, again, win the day. But there's a number of people that are moving to South Dakota for retirement. And then lifestyle and cost of living is the next major category. Taking a look at the age ranges of the people moving into the state of South Dakota, it's really interesting because it's kind of spread across the board. Aside from the 18 to 34-year-olds, which is the smallest category, everything over 35 is kind of about the same. And look at this income on the inbound moves. The majority of people are the ones that are making over $150,000 annually. There you have it, everybody. The states people are moving to and the people are moving from. What do you think? Any of these really surprise you? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks everybody for watching. Have an amazing day. And remember, love where you live.